Welcome to the Open Jaw Pink Couch, and our guest today is going to tell us all about the new Goway. And I say this because I feel like I want to almost add, this is not your grandfather's Goway. Goway has turned a page. It is a completely new, different organization, which is, of course, reflected in a new logo. But we were talking with Mitchell the other day off camera, and I was saying, you know, we really need to explain it's not just a logo. There's an entire team behind that.
Oh, yeah.
Product has changed.
Yep.
The organization is young.
Yeah.
Therefore, we have this young man here. So, okay, I let you take it away.
Thank you. Well, that's a great intro because I've worked in marketing for almost 20 years now. I worked in branding for about half of that. And it's a super common misconception that a rebrand is just a logo. And I'm often campaigning that there's so much more to it. In the case of Goway, it's the icing on the cake. And the changes that happened are far deeper than just our look and feel and the new website. It was a reimagining of who we are, what we stand for, what we want to do in the future, our product, our team. There's just so much growth and so much changing. So it truly was the right time to rebrand. But the logo is just the beginning.
The logo is just the tip of the iceberg, yeah. And in terms of product, one of the things that completely threw me, because when I think of Goway, I go back again a few decades because I've been around a while, and I think of exotic destinations. And you told me that Europe is by far your biggest product, and I still can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah, well, we all hear about the demand for Europe today. I know all of our travel advisors are experiencing it. If they're smart, they've diversified into it, much like we have, because the demand for the entire continent, but especially Italy, Greece, the UK, there's so much to see and so much demand for it. So it was a natural evolution for us, but it does not mean we've taken our eyes off of the core Goway product. We're still #1 to Down Under. We still travel to all 7 continents. We're up to 115 countries now. So this is an addition, not a pivot. And that's reflected by the huge growth in our team that is able to support that both on the product side and then the destination specialists that deeply know Europe. It's an entire new team, so we still have our South Pacific team, our Americas team, and you know all of the things in Africa, Middle East. Yeah.
And so, how many people?
As a total company, we're at almost 700 now.
Holy!
Yeah, that's wild. That's really substantial growth. Pretty much a hockey stick over the last few years. We rebounded from COVID in a big way, and we're only continuing to grow at that pace.
Now, you have important offices in the US, and that's been a big growth market for you, correct?
Yes, of course. In fact, the majority of our business now comes from the US, but Canada is where we're headquartered. We still consider ourselves a Canadian company. Our heart is here. We're never going to change our values in that way.
Yeah, love it. Now, North American travel is also something that you are focusing on right now. I believe you even hired someone to head it up.
Yes.
What is that about?
So you're right. And we recently welcomed in October, Sean Ebert, who's our VP of the Americas, notably including North, Central, and South America.
Right, of course.
Huge area of the world to cover. So diverse, like wow. But that does mean expansion in product in Central and South America. So we're really excited about our expanded product in Brazil, for example. Costa Rica has always been big for Goway, but we're really expanding on the wide variety of travel styles available there. But we're also really excited about countries like Belize, Nicaragua. There's so much that's constantly changing in the tourism industry there.
Yeah.
Speaking of North America, though, we are about to reintroduce our Mexico product line. And Goway's always been about our globetrotting clients. They tend to go a little bit broader than mass market travel. So we're not going to be spending as much time in sort of your typical Mexican all-inclusives or things like that. Rather, we're going to go a lot deeper with food, with culture, with destinations that are a little bit unique or off the beaten path.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Now, Mitchell, you're so well versed in the Goway product and in all the facets of the Goway organization. What would you tell advisors who are listening to this? Here I am touting it's a brand new Goway, but what sort of tips would you give them in terms of working with you? Where would you say their focus should be initially, and how do they best communicate with you and reach out to you?
Yeah, I would always recommend starting the journey at gowaypro.com. That's the trade travel advisor site where you can learn everything there is to know about what our relationship is with the travel trade. And that's extensive. It's always been our bread and butter. It's how we all started. So we have a lot of different programs. We can get into detail or break them down. But I'll say that's where you'll find all of your resources, all of the incentives, all of the rewards programs, and all of the training and education that we're really well known for. So gowaypro.com or on Instagram at gowaypro. That'll be the beginning of your journey if you haven't worked with us in this capacity yet, and you'll see that there's plenty to learn.
Which product should they start with?
Ooh, well, we sell the world, so we want to know where you specialize, and then we can help augment that. Or if you happen to specialize in cruise, for example, but you've got a fantastic client and you've worked with them for years and they want to go on a safari, we've got that too. So I will say, like you mentioned earlier, our Europe product is super popular. We have a lot to offer there, but I always like to go back to our roots, which is the South Pacific. It's down under, it's Australia. You'll see deep expertise and a team who have worked at Goway for a long time. We know that super well. And if Australia, New Zealand, or the other South Pacific islands are not on your radar, you got to check them out.
Are you at all concerned, speaking of Europe, with the overcrowding once again that is being, announced and foreseen? And so many cities are now having really bad reactions to tourists. I mean, I can get it. I mean, if that's your home and suddenly there's all these people and you can't even cross the street, it's going to be an issue. But so many of us still want to travel.
So I was in Barcelona this past summer and actually stumbled upon an anti-tourism demonstration.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of the unlucky few who got shot with water guns, but we were reading about that in the news. It's an uncomfortable feeling. I of course advocate for travel and the travel industry, and I know how important it is to certain economies. I know as a society how it can break down barriers and open doors, and it's really bizarre to be in a position now where it's seen as such a negative. Yeah. So I will say that sort of changed my understanding and relationship with this issue right now, and I experienced that. For sure, we're aware of that at Goway. One of the reasons that our positioning as a tailor-made tour operator where every trip is completely customized is where we shine in this way, because if someone is looking to go to Rome in July, of course, we'll book that for you, but we can also give you some fantastic recommendations on what to add on to that Italy trip. We can take you to places that are a little less expensive, a little less busy, or there's a chance that we might recommend that you try it out in October, and we could put together a fantastic program that's beautiful at that time of year. So we're aware of it. We work with local DMCs and our partners on the ground to understand what the limits are, what the issues are, and we'll always build product around that. It's in everyone's best interest.
No question, absolutely, and it's understandable. And as you said, we don't want to be caught in the middle of it. So I totally get it. In Rome, you mentioned right now they're having a Jubilee, the Catholic Jubilee, this year. So expect crowds and just be prepared, right? I mean, I think if you're mentally prepared, you know what to expect. That's probably half the battle.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't love to travel when it's mega busy. I have been to Rome in July. It's also scorching hot. But because we have these long relationships with the travelers that our travel advisors book through Goway, they come back year after year. We really have a consultative relationship where we can encourage them to try something different. Of course, we're all talking about the trend of detour destinations, where you can go that's similar to what you're looking for in the big names, but has a much more affordable price point and is much less packed. So we've got options. We've got a detour destination for everywhere. We love to recommend them because we try them ourselves. We've been there, and there's some really exciting things that you can explore. 700
people are doing their homework. Love it. So the world is a very large place. You cover all of it. So many options, and I really appreciate you coming in here. And on a personal level, I feel really excited for Goway. It's nice to see a tried and true brand sort of reinvent itself, come back strong. Love it.
Thanks,
Mitchell.
So great to be here. Thanks, Nina. Thanks, everyone.